Welcome to our countdown of the top 5 most famous wars in history. From the sprawling battlefields of Europe to the jungles of Southeast Asia, we will journey through time to understand the events that have shaped our world. These conflicts, while devastating in their impact, offer valuable lessons about humanity, the cost of division, and the enduring pursuit of peace. These conflicts have shaped the world as we know it today. The Second World War, a conflict so vast it engulfed nearly every corner of the globe. From the beaches of Normandy to the deserts of North Africa, the sheer scale of this war was unlike anything humanity had ever seen. At its heart, this was a struggle between two opposing ideologies, fascism and democracy. The Axis powers, led by Nazi Germany, sought to impose their will upon the world, driven by a dangerous ideology of hate and intolerance. The Allied nations, led by Great Britain, the United States, and the Soviet Union, stood as a united front against this tyranny. Ordinary men and women were thrust into extraordinary circumstances, displaying remarkable courage and resilience in the face of unimaginable horrors. The war witnessed some of the most pivotal battles in human history. The Battle of Stalingrad, a brutal, months-long siege, marked a turning point in the war's Eastern Front. The D-Day landings, a daring amphibious assault on the beaches of Normandy, paved the way for the liberation of Western Europe. But victory came at a tremendous cost. Millions perished, not only on the battlefields, but also in the darkest chapters of human history. The Holocaust, a systematic genocide that targeted Jews and other minorities, stands as a stark reminder of the depths of human cruelty. The seeds of the First World War were sown in the complex web of alliances and rivalries that entangled Europe in the early 20th century. A single act, the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria, ignited the powder keg, plunging the continent into chaos. The initial optimism of a swift and decisive war soon faded as the conflict bogged down into a brutal war of attrition. In the trenches of the Western Front, soldiers faced unimaginable conditions, caught in a deadly stalemate marked by machine gun fire, poison gas, and unimaginable loss of life. From the Somme to Verdun, battles raged with unrelenting ferocity, each claiming hundreds of thousands of lives. The war also saw the rise of new technologies that would forever change the face of warfare. Tanks, airplanes, and submarines made their deadly debut, transforming the battlefield. The war finally ended in 1918, with the Allied powers claiming victory. But the cost of victory was staggering. Millions lay dead, empires crumbled, and the world was left scarred, forever changed by the experience. The American Civil War, a conflict that pitted brother against brother, tore apart the very fabric of the United States. At its core lay the deeply divisive issue of slavery, a moral stain on the nation's conscience. The southern states, economically and culturally dependent on slave labor, seceded from the Union, forming the Confederate States of America. The Union, led by President Abraham Lincoln, vowed to preserve the nation, setting the stage for a bloody conflict. From Gettysburg to Shiloh, battlefields across the nation ran red with the blood of fallen soldiers. The war tested the limits of human endurance, with both sides displaying extraordinary courage and determination. The Emancipation Proclamation, issued by Lincoln in 1863, declared the freedom of slaves in Confederate territories, transforming the war into a fight for human liberty. Finally, after 4 long years of bloodshed, the Union prevailed, preserving the nation and abolishing the institution of slavery. The Napoleonic Wars, a series of conflicts that swept across Europe in the early 19th century, were a testament to the ambition and military genius of one man, Napoleon Bonaparte. Rising from humble beginnings, Napoleon's charisma and strategic brilliance propelled him through the ranks of the French army. Crowned Emperor of France in 1804, Napoleon embarked on a series of military campaigns that redrew the map of Europe. His victories at Austerlitz and Jena humbled Austria and Prussia, establishing French dominance over much of the continent. Napoleon's empire stretched from Spain to Russia, his armies seemingly invincible. But his ambition ultimately proved to be his undoing. The disastrous invasion of Russia in 1812, a campaign crippled by harsh weather and fierce resistance, marked the beginning of his downfall. Defeated at Waterloo in 1815, Napoleon's reign came to an end. The Napoleonic Wars, though ultimately ending in defeat for France, left an indelible mark on Europe, sparking nationalist movements and leading to a period of relative peace. The Vietnam War, a protracted and divisive conflict, cast a long shadow over both Vietnam and the United States. Rooted in the Cold War struggle between communism and democracy, the war became a symbol of America's growing involvement in Southeast Asia. The United States, supporting the South Vietnamese government, found itself drawn deeper into the conflict, facing a determined enemy in the North Vietnamese Army and the Viet Cong. The jungle terrain of Vietnam proved to be a formidable battlefield, as American soldiers faced a determined enemy skilled in guerrilla warfare. The Tet Offensive in 1968, a surprise attack launched by the North Vietnamese Army and the Viet Cong, shocked the American public, turning the tide of public opinion against the war. Images of the conflict broadcast into homes across the world brought the horrors of war to the forefront of people's minds. The war dragged on for years, claiming the lives of millions of Vietnamese civilians and over 58,000 American soldiers. The United States withdrew from Vietnam in 1973 and the country was unified under communist rule in 1975. Thank you for joining us on this historical journey. From the battlefields of Europe to the jungles of Southeast Asia, we have explored the complexities of some of history's most defining conflicts. These wars, while tragic in their loss of life and destruction, offer valuable lessons about the human condition. They remind us of the devastating consequences of hatred, intolerance, and the pursuit of power. But they also highlight the resilience of the human spirit, the courage of those who fought for their beliefs, and the enduring hope for a more peaceful future. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating content.